what happened last night?
Everyone is still trying to figure that out. Last night, just to set the stage, Luke Walton was doing his pregame press conference, just the normal stuff. And everybody was thinking about, okay, is this going to be Luke's last day doing this? And Luke even acknowledged that narrative. And, he's been asked about this a lot and made a joke about, asked me tonight after the game if I'm still nervous about my job security. Then all of a sudden, Magic Johnson appears out of nowhere, tells one of the people from Lakers PR that he wants to do a press conference. I thought he was joking. I thought he was just messing around because there's all this media. And all of a sudden he gets behind the podium. I'm like, oh, he's actually doing a press conference. What's he going to talk about? And he cut to the chase pretty quickly that he was stepping down. And as Magic is wont to do, he talked and talked and talked. And I think I could have ridden home shotgun with him if I just asked. He just was talking to anybody who would listen. It was crazy.
So let's get to the heart of the matter. Why did he do it this way? I know he said that he didn't want to tell Jeannie Buss, his sister, who's like a sister to him, to her face, but then he waited to tell her after he told the media. Maybe it's easier for him to tell her once the cat's completely out of the bag. The Lakers, Andy, are a franchise that's put together. Everything is manicured. It's like the best lawn that's in front of the most beautiful house that's filled with the greatest artwork. That's what the Lakers are. And this was a total holy heck of a mess that's being run off the top of a head by a guy who's just running at the mouth, who happens to be their most famous, perhaps most popular player, who's quitting at the most crucial point after a disaster of a season. And why would he do it this way?
First of all, it's important to note that the manicured lawn appearance, that hasn't been there for a while. And, it's something that the organization has always really focused on, the idea of putting out that type of brand. But the reality is it's been largely chaos since Dr. Buss's death. And this is the 6th straight season of missing the playoffs. So there's been a lot of very well-known dysfunction. But the idea of Magic doing it this way, I think he was truthful in the way that he said it was just going to be too difficult for him to, have this conversation first with Jeannie. But the irony of that is Magic, there was always this narrative that, he's the ultimate closer. And if you get in a room with him, it's going to be impossible to say no. There was this idea that Paul George didn't give the Lakers a meeting because once he got in a room with Magic, it would have been impossible to say no to him. Then he would have had to explain to the Thunder that he was going back on what he said. The irony is Magic couldn't get in a room with Jeannie. The whole thing just gets inverted on its head.
Yeah, it just leaves you scratching your head wondering if there's something else, some other there, especially when today in the exit interviews, nobody who is I guess, main character in this drama is available to talk. What was it like down the road this morning?
LeBron was supposed to be doing what would have been his equivalent of an exit interview during the time that Magic spoke. But again, that threw everybody for a loop.
So you were going into last night expecting to have Magic Johnson and Pelinka talk together with LeBron at the same time in an exit interview.
Today.
Right.
What I was expecting was LeBron to talk to us yesterday in lieu of doing an exit interview today.
Right.
And then have Magic and Rob speak with us just like they did last year and just like any functional organization does their exit interviews.
Right. And then this is all totally, what was it? Was it like a morgue down the road over there today?
It's still surreal. Everyone is still just trying to ingest what happened. And there is still a lot to wrap your head around. And the organization isn't putting Luke Walton or Rob Pelinka or any, I guess, adult in the room in front of anybody for today's exit interviews. And on one hand, at some point, an adult in the room needs to speak. But I can understand why they wouldn't do it today because there is still a lot to figure out.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download The Rich Eisen Show app.